Hey folks, welcome back to Real Estate Investing Unmasked. Today we're going to talk about the most anticipated step in how to buy a house. This is step number 6, begin your house hunting. So when it comes time to buy your house, you've already got your agent, you've already found out how much a house you can afford, and you've already determined how much money you have for your down payment and got your credit report ready and got your pre-approval. So you are ready to be looking for homes. If you find a home that you like, you can make an offer because you have everything ready to go. Now, when it comes to buying a house, when you do your house hunting, there are a couple things you need to keep in mind. Are you buying as an owner or are you buying as a real estate investor? And that will determine what kind of house you're looking for. In most cases, people who are buying homes for themselves typically will buy on emotion. They'll look to see, wow, this house is really pretty, or I really like the way that this design is, or whatever. They look at emotion, whereas an investor will look at what the potential is. What is the potential in this house? Can I get a renter that can pay X number of dollars for this and stay in here forever? Can I get somebody that can fix this place up very quickly, very cost efficiently, and be able to turn around for a quick profit? There are a couple things that an investor will look at. They're looking at the bottom line as far as appreciation, easiness to rent or to resell. Couple things, really. What does the neighborhood look like so that when I sell my house, am I going to be the best in the neighborhood, or am I going to fit into the neighborhood, or am I going to be the worst in the neighborhood? And of course, as an investor, you want to be somewhere between the fitting into the neighborhood and the best in the neighborhood without overdoing it. As somebody who's buying the house for themselves, you want to find some place that is peaceful, which is wholesome, something that is fulfilling for you. So when it comes to buying a house, to begin your house hunting, you need to split up 2 columns. You need to have what your needs are, and you need to have what your wants are. Now your needs, that's going to include things like how many bedrooms do you need? If you're a family of 1, you could handle a studio. If you're a family of 10, you probably need 4 or 5 bedrooms on the minimum. Now my family, we're a family of 7. And when we were looking, we said our need was we need at least 4 bedrooms. We ended up buying a 5-bedroom home, but even then, we only use 4 bedrooms, and our 5th bedroom is used as a guest room. So you need to know what your needs are, how many bedrooms you get, how much space you need for vehicles. You need some kind of place to eat. You need some place to relax. And then you also need some kind of reasonable commute to wherever you work. Now, if you work remotely, that's no big deal. As long as you got the internet, you're good. So you need those things. Now, once you have those things, everything else is a want. Now, some of these wants you may feel like they're a need, and that's fine. You're the one buying the house. Some of these wants are, for instance, what size lot do you want? Do you want a large lot or do you want a small lot? Some people want that postage stamp size lot because they don't want to have to do any yard work. And the smaller the lot, the less work you have to do around the house. But the smaller the lot, most typically, the closer your neighbors are going to be to you, and that could be a little annoying. The larger the lot, the more uptake it takes, the more care is required, or if you're going to hire somebody, the more money it costs for them to do the lawn. I know that my cost for having the lawn done doubled when I moved away from my last house to my new house, and that's because frankly, my yard is much bigger, and I've got a lot of grass to be taken care of. The size of the house is a want. There are some places, for instance, in Orange County, you can get 4 bedrooms that's 1,100 square feet, and the bedrooms are teeny tiny. So it would fit our needs, but we want a little bit more space for our kids and, frankly, for ourselves, for myself and my wife. So the size of the house is different too. Now, we got something that is closer to 3,000 square feet than closer to 1,000 square feet. And that was something that we wanted, but that's what you need to know, what your needs are, what your wants are. The next one is your school ratings that are close by to you. Now, the school ratings, that will adjust what kind of neighborhood you're in. In some places, you can have a very highly rated school, and most likely you will have a very well-to-do neighborhood, or a neighborhood that's nice to be in. The ones where you have the schools that are rated lower, quite typically, those are the areas that are more crime-ridden. So that is a want to have a high school area, a highly rated school area, but you need to take that into consideration. Even if you don't have kids, know that when you have a higher rating for the school around you, you usually have parents who do more for their kids than the opposite. Now, when I say more for their kids, I don't want you to take anything out of context. We quite often find better behaved children in the higher rated school areas than in the lower rated school areas, which goes into the next want, which is crime. The crime rating in your area. It's a want and a need in some regards, right? We all need security. So when it comes to the crime rating, do you have to have the highest crime rating where there's no crime whatsoever in your area? If so, you may be way out in the boonies because there may be nothing happening out there. But if you come in the city, there are different crime maps that you can look up and say, you know what, I'll be satisfied with at least this level. And what I have done in the past is my wife and I, we've looked at the crime rating of the place where we currently live and compare that to where we're trying to go to say, hey, we're going to move up in crime area where there's less crime around us. That is a want, and is not necessarily a need. It's partial need, partial want. So that's one of the things to keep in mind, is look up the crime maps of the places where you're looking to do your house hunting. And then the last one that I've got on my list anyway is where the nearby shopping is. It's important, but at the same time, it's more of a want. Do I want to have the shopping next door? Do I want to have Walmart in my backyard so that I've got people that when they steal, they jump over my fence? Nah, I don't want to have that. I want a little separation of me and where everybody gathers to go shopping. Now, do I want a huge separation where I'm 30 minutes away from shopping? That's my closest gas station is 30 minutes away. My closest grocery store is 30 minutes away. Nah, that's not what I want. Now, some people will. They'll say, you know what, that's exactly what I want. I want away from everything, and that's okay. That's what you want. That's the want, is how close or how far do I want to be from the shopping centers or the entertainment centers? So once you've made this list, share it with your realtor. You just found a great real estate agent in the last step. Take advantage of that. Have your list, give it to your realtor or your real estate agent and say, this is what I need and this is what I want. And they will go ahead and take a look with all the other numbers you've given them, right? Because you've already met with them of how much home you can afford, what your down payment is, and what you're pre-approved for. Once you give that information to them, they can find you the perfect house. That doesn't mean they're the only ones looking. I have almost always found the house that I bought eventually instead of my agent finding it for me. I'm very proactive when it comes to that. And you may be too, and that's all right. But keep in mind, that's one of the things your real estate agent is there for, is to help give you what you're looking for. All right? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. Stay tuned for the next 5 steps on how to buy a house. We got some great ones coming up. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.